Hi, my little butterflies, and welcome back to The Broken Mirror. As always, if you haven't watched the chapters before this one, go watch them. They're linked in the description. The chapter is written by January and Lazy. The art was done by Lazy, and I'll be playing the narrator, Adrien / Chat Noir, Rose, and Chloé.
Hi, I'm Lazy, and I'll be voicing Marinette / Ladybug, Alya, and Lila.
Hi, I'm January, and I'll be voicing Gabriel, Nathalie, Nino, Mother Protector, and Miss Bustier.
Thank you for getting us to above 360 subscribers. We can't thank you enough. Now, anyway, Chapter 9, Secrets Unveiled.
Welcome once again, ladies,
Gabriel said. Lila looked around the room and at the others. They were in Gabriel's office around the runway, and everyone looked exhausted.
What have we learned so far?
Gabriel asked everyone at the meeting.
Nathalie, Chloé, would you like to share?
Well, Mr. Gress, your waitress has been a pain in my beautiful head, Chloé said, glaring at Nathalie.
Like you have one,
Lila thought. You're lucky you haven't called Daddykins, Chloé scoffed. She never wanted me to go to the crime scene and kept the details she found top secret.
I'm sure Nathalie has a perfect explanation for this,
Gabriel added.
Yes, sir. I thought it wasn't as important to share the information I collected to my partner, and I just report back to you,
Nathalie explained. Gabriel raised his eyebrows towards Chloe as if saying,
I told you so.
But followed with,
I see. Well, from now on, you are required to share this information with Chloe. We wouldn't want any misunderstandings again. Is that understood, Nathalie? Yes, sir.
Nathalie said, keeping her composure.
We've almost gathered enough information on Ladybug and Chat Noir. One more villain should do it. Alright then. Ladybug and Chat Noir will fight the last villain today. Now, Lila, any news from your school?
Not too much.
Lila started, turning her attention to Gabriel.
Although, I may have my suspicions. If I were to find out their identities, I would need until the end of today.
Very well then. Everyone has until the end of the day to complete their task.
Gabriel remarked.
Lila, let me know when the communication will be most needed.
Of course.
Lila smirked. They heard a commotion at the door and quickly dialed their voices down. Almost immediately, Nathalie knew who it was and what this was about. Gabriel had promised Adrien a father-son breakfast. She quickly moved to the door and was not able to reach it in time. Adrien pushed open the door and appeared. Nathalie blocked Adrien's view by standing in front of him. Hey, where's my father? Adrien exclaimed.
Adrien, right now isn't the best time,
Nathalie said, trying to move Adrien back outside. Adrien looked over Nathalie's shoulder and noticed Chloé sitting at the runway. Wait, why is Chloé here? He quickly snapped.
Adrien, I will answer all your questions later.
Nathalie replied.
Take Adrien to school.
She directed to his bodyguard. The room continued to be quiet until they were sure Adrien left the front door.
Is this going to be a problem, Gabriel?
Nathalie said with the intent to hurt his confidence about his parenting skills.
We will watch Adrien more closely if this persists,
Gabriel said. Lila stared at Gabriel. Was Adrien always the last thing on his mind? Adrien was a possible Chat Noir, knowing that Gabriel probably never checked on his son. Through all the acclimatizations, Gabriel would have been in his lair and wouldn't have noticed Adrien disappearing for long periods of time.
Well, since we've already been interrupted once, I think it'd be safe to leave it here. Remember, everyone has until tonight,
Gabriel stated once more before walking to the door and pushing it open. Gabriel held the door open for the two of them as they walked through. The limo was in front of the egress mansion, and Lila didn't bother to get in. If she arrived in the same car as Chloé, Adrien would be suspicious of her, and we didn't need that. Lila walked past many buildings as she thought about ways she could slip trackers onto both Adrien and Marinette. She pulled out her phone from her bag and a small key dropped onto the concrete sidewalk.
What is this?
Lila asked in a whisper as she picked it up. Lila examined the small object in her hand when she noticed the words, Diary, engraved onto the bow of the key. This was no doubt from Marinette's room the day she broke in. Marinette had a diary. If she was Ladybug, would she say so within the pages of her diary? The school was straight ahead and she checked out the time. There were still 10 minutes. Finals were incredibly easy for Lila. Gabriel provided the answers for each test she took. She only purposely got a few wrong to make it believable. She entered the school as the 5-minute bell rang and the students began filing into their classes. Lila joined everyone going to Miss Bustier's classroom on the second level. She spotted Adrien behind her and decided to have a small chat with him.
Hey, Adrien.
Lila smiled. Oh, hello, Lila, he said.
You know, there are some rumors going around that Ladybug and Chat Noir attend this school.
She hinted. Oh, really? He stuttered, rubbing the back of his neck.
Yep.
He smirked.
Some are saying that they see Chat Noir in the classrooms over there.
She pointed across the courtyard to another hall of classrooms, distracting Adrien enough to slip her hand into his bag and grab his phone. She stuck it into her bag as she turned back to Lila. Oh, really? Adrien questioned.
The school comes up with the biggest rumors.
Lila laughed. Yeah, Adrien said through a forced chuckle.
Well, I'll see you around, Adrien.
Lila smiled again as they entered the classroom and Lila took her seat at the very end of the room. Well, she was almost glad Miss Bustier had put her in the back because she could watch everyone without gaining too much suspicion on herself.
Good morning, everyone.
Miss Bustier started.
Today is Friday. Congratulate yourselves. You've made it to the end of the first semester.
The room erupted with claps and whoops before quieting again.
You'll have one final test before you can relax this winter break.
She announced.
I hope you studied. Not too much, of course.
Miss Bustier smiled. Lila opened her bag and grasped Adrien's phone, along with one of the trackers Chloé had given her. Lila hid the phone from view from Nathaniel, who sat next to her. She opened the case and slipped the small tracker into place. The deed was done. Now she had to get it back to him without him noticing. Ivan turned around to pass both Lila and Nathaniel a package. She gladly took it and offered him a smile.
Well, good luck, everyone. You may begin.
She stated before turning around to sit at her desk. Lila grabbed a pencil pouch from the bottom of her bag for the final time and opened it, revealing the answers.
Please make your way to the cafeteria. You'll come back here afterwards.
Miss Bustier instructed once 4 hours had passed. Lila watched as Nathaniel, along with everyone else, walked out before she hid under the table and waited for Miss Bustier to leave. She heard the door open as soon as Miss Bustier. Lila peeked her head out on the side and barely glimpsed as Miss Bustier left the room.
Easy,
she thought. Lila grabbed her bag and opened it, grabbing another small tracker and Adrien's phone. It would be all over soon. Lila got up from under the desk and quietly snuck down to the middle of the classroom and to the front where Adrien sat. She pulled down the flap and slipped her hand into the bag and set the phone down. She saw Marinette's bag and unzipped it. She reached her hand inside but couldn't find her phone. Marinette was onto her. She put the tracker in her pocket and she stood up and walked to the door. Lila knew exactly what she needed to do. She opened the door and was met with Miss Bustier.
Lila, what are you doing in here? I thought you were at lunch.
She spoke. Lila hesitated.
I forgot my pencil. I'm studying with Ivan and Milan.
She lied.
Oh, how great.
Miss Bustier remarked, letting Lila pass. She walked to the cafeteria and stepped in line next to Chloé.
I need a distraction,
Lila said. I haven't gone that low yet, trash girl, Chloé said with a disgusted look on her face.
I guess I'll just let everyone know that you still sleep with the teddy bear.
Lila smirked, about to walk away. Fine, Chloé blurted. What do you want me to do? She cupped her hand around Chloé's ear and whispered her plan into it. Chloé sighed and stepped out of line, leaving the tray. She walked to the center table and shoved a student out of their seat. She glanced at Lila and seized, stepping onto a chair and then on the table. Mari Brat, Chloé announced, everyone's head turning to watch the blonde.
What do you want, Chloé?
Marinette asked from her seat. Stand up now or I will reveal your deepest secret. Chloé pointed at Marinette. Of course, Chloé didn't know who Lila suspected, nor what her deepest secret was. Lila just told her to say that to anyone, yet Chloé made her life 10 times easier by choosing Marinette. Marinette, whose purse was hanging on the backrest of the chair, got up and stood in front of Chloé.
What do you want?
She asked once more. Now start dancing like a chicken, Chloé demanded. Marinette looked back at her friends, who just shrugged, except Adrien, who got up and stood next to Marinette. You don't have to do it, he said, looking into her eyes. Do it, or I reveal your deepest secret, Chloé persisted. Marinette looked from Chloé to Adrien, unsure of what to do. Adrien took this into the matters of his own hands and grabbed Marinette's hand, pulling her out of the cafeteria. She yelped.
Chloé, do you even know Marinette's deepest secret?
Alya asked, knowing that Chloé didn't know a thing. Lila made me do it, she blurted, pointing to Lila.
Me?
Lila asked before continuing.
But I only just got here.
She smirked, watching Chloé glare. Chloé screamed out of frustration and stormed out of the cafeteria. Lila turned around to face Alya and Nino.
Sorry, Chloé seems to be a little on edge because of all the kumatizations.
She grabbed Marinette's purse.
I should return this to Marinette.
She didn't wait for a response and instead turned around to leave. She hoped they didn't notice anything odd about her, but she couldn't risk Marinette coming back and taking her purse back. Lila ran down the stairs and swung a corner to the locker room, into the girls' restroom. She made sure the room was empty before she opened the purse. Nothing in there but a phone. She immediately reached for Marinette's phone and took it out. Lila opened the case of Marinette's phone and reached into her pocket, grabbing the small tracker and slipping it into the back of the phone. She shoved the phone back into Marinette's purse and exited the restroom into the girls' locker room. She had to get this back to Marinette without drawing too much attention to herself. But how? She set the purse down onto the bench and sat next to it. Lila couldn't think of what to do then. If she personally delivered the purse, Marinette would become way too suspicious of Lila for comfort. Just then, the door opened as Lila hid in one of the lockers, peeked through the vents while holding her breath. She glimpsed Rose walking in and spotting Marinette's purse.
Oh, this is Marinette's. How could it have gotten all the way over here?
Rose said in her high-pitched voice. Lila smirked. Could this get any more perfect? She saw Rose pick up the purse through the vent and turn to leave.
Better give it to her.
She heard the door open and close again. Lila pushed open the locker door and stepped out of the small space, breathing heavily. She grabbed her own phone from her pocket and dialed Gabriel's number.
Lila?
Gabriel said.
I need you to create the final villain.
Lila explained.
How long?
She asked. She thought about it for a moment before responding.
Anything over 20 minutes.
It shall be done.
He said before hanging up. Lila slipped her phone back into her pocket as she stepped towards the door. She slowly pushed it open and slid through it, hoping she didn't attract too much attention to herself. Her eyes immediately found Marinette, who was sitting next to Adrien at the bottom of the stairs. Marinette awkwardly shifted away from Adrien as Rose found them.
There you are, Marinette!
Rose exclaimed.
Rose? What's going on?
Marinette asked. She held out Marinette's purse.
Here you go. I found it in the locker room.
The locker room?
Marinette stammered.
Why would it be?
Marinette's eyes shifted to the locker room doors just as Lila hid behind the pillar. She held her breath, waiting for Marinette to dismiss the thought. What did you see? Adrien asked, his brows furrowed. Marinette faltered, unsure of what she might have seen.
I'm not sure.
She finished as Lila exhaled. Lila heard a crash outside the school as everyone's head whipped around to try and find what made the noise. Marinette's phone began beeping violently from inside the purse. She pulled it out and saw the Akuma alert.
It's another Akuma!
Lila quickly grabbed her phone and opened the tracking app, watching Marinette and Adrien's dot move in opposite directions. Obviously, they didn't know either of them were superheroes. Marinette's dot seemed to phase through the walls of the school and head towards the direction of her house. Although instead of entering the building, the dot passed it and continued forward to a loop, which she assumed the akumatized one was. Adrien's dot also faced through one of the walls of Collège François Dupont. Like Marinette's had, his dot passed through the bakery and to the Louvre. Lila ran out of the school, hoping to catch Ladybug and Chat Noir in action before they defeated the villain. She breathed heavily as she ran through the streets of the Louvre. As she passed through the streets, she could hear the crashes become louder and louder. Soon, sounding like bombs, she saw the akumatized climate activists from the side of the Tuileries.
Let's give the Louvre a makeover.
The akumatized person said.
I don't think so!
Ladybug shouted as she entered. Agreed, you big plant, Chat Noir said as he entered.
It's Mother Protector to you disgusting cat,
she replied, shooting vines that chased Ladybug and Chat Noir around the Louvre. As Lila looked away from the fight, she pulled out her phone once more, looking at her phone to see where the trackers were. Their dots showed that they were at the Louvre. The only ones visible were Ladybug, Chat Noir, and Mother Protector. She refreshed the page as if hoping her suspicion was wrong. Only to her dismay, the dots didn't move much, only about a foot away from where they were before. It showed that Marinette and Adrien were in the same spots as Ladybug and Chat Noir were. She gasped silently as she realized what that meant.
Marinette and Adrien are Ladybug and Chat Noir.
She thought about how she would tell Gabriel that his own son was Chat Noir. Lila was hoping that she was wrong, but she knew her suspicion was right and the trackers only proved it. Unconsciously, she began to stare at Ladybug and continued for a while. In doing so, she accidentally made eye contact with Ladybug. She quickly moved behind the building and ran to the end of the Tuileries. She could hear Ladybug coming and searched the area Lila had fled to. She could hear Ladybug's footsteps closer to Lila as she tensed up. Saving Lila from the situation, Chat Noir shouted, "Milady, I could really use some help over here."
Coming!
She replied over her shoulder with a hint of suspicion and left. The footsteps became quieter as Ladybug ran in the opposite direction. Lila took a deep breath, letting her shoulders drop as she waited a minute before taking off to school. On her way there, she got a call from Nathalie. She answered and put the phone to her ear.
We got the information we needed. Come to the Gross Mansion around 2 p.m.
Nathalie stated.
Okay.
Lila replied as she continued to walk to the school during the phone call. Lila made it to the school's entrance, meaning that she had 2 hours until she faced Gabriel. 2 hours passed faster than she had anticipated. She walked down the stairs and walked over to the aggressive mansion. She had made it to the mansion and soon the gates opened. In a matter of time, she had made it to Gabriel's office. To her surprise, no one was there. She remembered the plan for the next acclimatization. She didn't know how long she had, so she began snooping around. She headed for his computer, and surely it was open. She looked through all the files and found something about how it would create his master villain. She downloaded the file onto a USB and noticed something about the miraculous powers. She looked into the file and continued to upload them to the USB. Suddenly, she heard loud footsteps coming her way. She knew the files were not finished downloading in time to whoever was coming down the hall. She quickly pulled out the USB and shoved it into her pocket, and changed the computer back to the way she remembered it. She ran into the table and sat in a chair quietly and quickly as Gabriel walked in.
Lila, you're here.
He said slowly with a little bit of confusion. She did her best to look irritated and bored with her arms folded against her chest.
Well, since you're here so early, I presume you have good news on Ladybug and Chat Noir.
He started hopefully, staring into Lila's eyes.
If only.
She began boring her eyes into his.
The trackers were faulty. They didn't even turn on.
He lied gracefully. Gabriel raised an eyebrow.
Really? All of our equipment is top tier. How could that have happened?
He tilted his head and leaned in, his face smug.
No idea.
Lila spoke, her voice innocent and chest tight. Gabriel pulled back.
Where are they?
Her heart stopped for a moment.
Excuse me?
The trackers. Where are they? If they are faulty, you would give them to me.
Gabriel continued.
Unless you don't have them.
Lila had momentary relief.
The trackers, of course. Now, why would I give you faulty devices? I dealt with them. They're gone.
I see. Well then, who were your suspects?
My suspects, yes, they were quite broad. Everyone in school had been akumatized, which means none of them could have also been saving Paris at the same time.
She paused.
I don't think anyone who goes there could be Ladybug or Chat Noir.
I suppose we will have to do without their identities.
He stated, turning his back to Lila.
I want to know more about this Marinette girl. The one who hangs out around my son, like a hangnail.
She bit the inside of her cheek.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. You are free to go.
Gabriel said. Lila stood up and walked to the door, glancing over her shoulder.
Oh, and Lila, you know the consequences if you lie to me, don't you?
Of course. Always.
Lila replied, grasping onto the small USB stick in her pocket. A smirk formed on her lips. This was nothing but a game of chess, and she just made the right move.
Check, Gabriel. As promised, I'm doing these endings. Thank you all so much for listening and liking our content. We really appreciate all of it. Remember to subscribe/follow to see more stuff like this. Now, for all you on YouTube, bloopers.
Hold on, let me do the gritty.
Oh.
Ready, guys? Ready? How's my hair, guys?
It's giving trolls.
She entered the school at the 5. Lila hid the phone from view from it's not Nathalie, it's Nathaniel, the redhead, the artist, the one that's weirdly obsessed with Marinette.
How long? I'll do it again, that was weird.
How long?
How long? What?
That's what she said.
Oh, move!
She finishes Lila exhausted? Yes, Lila's exhausted from carrying this show.
Chloé, come.
Oh my god! Please it!